Let's be honest, for many of us, coffee is not just a drink. It is a ritual, a quiet comfort, a small joy that makes mornings a little more bearable, or even something we look forward to when we open our eyes. Whether it is that first cup in the morning or a cozy sip after lunch, coffee often feels like a trusted friend. Especially as we get older, it is one of those simple pleasures we are not ready to give up. And guess what? You do not have to. But here is something you might not know. Certain foods, when combined with coffee, can quietly work against your health. And I'm not talking about once in a while indulgences. I mean common, everyday pairings that seem harmless, even healthy, but maybe putting extra strain on your heart, your digestion, your blood sugar, and your energy. In today's video, we are going to talk about 10 surprising food combinations with coffee that may be worth rethinking, especially for those of us in our 50s, 60s, and beyond. No, I am not here to scare you, and I am definitely not here to take away your coffee. I am here to help you enjoy it in a smarter way, so it continues to be a source of comfort without any hidden consequences. So grab your mug, settle in, and let's talk about what might be sitting next to your coffee cup and why it could be time for a small but powerful change. Tip number 1, never drink coffee with energy drinks. Now, this might sound obvious to some, but you would be surprised how many people try to double up on energy when they are feeling tired. 1 cup of coffee in the morning becomes 2, then 3, and before they know it, they are grabbing an energy drink from the fridge thinking, well, just one more boost won't hurt. Here's the problem. Coffee by itself already contains a good dose of caffeine, but energy drinks? They are loaded with even more caffeine, plus extra stimulants like guarana, taurine, and other ingredients that are not always listed clearly. When you mix those with your morning brew, you are asking your heart to run a marathon before it even finishes breakfast. For someone in their 20s, it might just cause a little shakiness or a racing pulse. But for those of us over 50 or 60, it can do real damage. Your heart is not what it used to be, and that is perfectly normal. But that also means it needs a little more care, not a caffeine cocktail. Let me tell you about Jeffrey. He was a programmer in his 30s, drinking coffee all day and adding energy drinks to stay focused. At first, it seemed to work, until one day he collapsed at work. Doctors said his heart had gone into a rhythm problem caused by too much caffeine. He recovered, thankfully, but he had to change his habits for good. So here's the takeaway. If you are already drinking coffee, avoid energy drinks entirely. Instead, try drinking more water, stretching your legs, or sipping on herbal tea. Your body will thank you. And your heart, well, it will keep beating just the way it should. Tip number 2, never drink coffee with sweetened yogurt. Now here is a combination that sounds innocent, even healthy. A cup of coffee and a little fruit yogurt seems like a light, smart way to start the day, but the truth is, this pairing might be doing more harm than good, especially as we get older. Let's talk about yogurt. The kind most people buy is not just yogurt. It is often packed with added sugars, sometimes as much as a candy bar, and we would not eat that for breakfast, would we? Now combine that sugar with caffeine from coffee, and you have got yourself a sugar and stimulation cocktail that can send your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. What does that look like in real life? At first, you feel awake and full of energy, but then maybe an hour later, you are crashing. You feel tired again, hungry, maybe even a little shaky or irritable. That quick rise and fall in blood sugar puts pressure on your pancreas and can, over time, lead to insulin resistance, one of the early warning signs of type 2 diabetes. Take Richard, for example. He was a financial consultant who thought he was making a healthy choice by having fruit yogurt and coffee every morning before work. But after a few months, he started feeling exhausted by mid-morning and constantly craving snacks. His doctor ran some tests and found he was in a pre-diabetic state, all because of that light breakfast combo. So what is the better option? Choose plain yogurt with no added sugar. Greek yogurt is a great pick. And sweeten it yourself with a handful of fresh berries, cinnamon, or a few crushed nuts. You still get the creaminess, the flavor, and even some natural probiotics without the sugar spike. In short, your breakfast should lift you up, not drag you down an hour later. So enjoy your coffee, but keep your yogurt simple, real, and kind to your blood sugar. Tip number 3, never drink coffee with spicy food. Now I know what you are thinking. Come on, who drinks coffee with spicy food? But you would be surprised how common this is. Breakfast burritos with hot sauce, eggs with jalapenos, or even a spicy sandwich paired with your afternoon cup of joe. It sounds like a bold and flavorful way to start the day, but your stomach may not agree. Here is the thing. Both coffee and spicy food are strong stimulants. Coffee increases the production of stomach acid, and spicy food, especially those containing hot peppers, irritates the lining of the stomach. Put the two together, and it is like throwing gasoline on a small fire. Your digestive system becomes inflamed, overwhelmed, and honestly, a little angry. For people under stress or with sensitive stomachs, this combo can lead to heartburn, acid reflux, or worse, chronic gastritis, and even ulcers over time. The pain might not show up right away, but if you often feel a burning sensation in your chest or upper stomach after meals, this could be the cause. Let me tell you about Mark. He ran a small restaurant in Texas and loved spicy food. Every morning, it was scrambled eggs with jalapenos, hot sauce on toast, and a strong black coffee. At first, he felt great, full of energy and flavor. But after a few months, he started experiencing heartburn almost daily. He ignored it, blaming stress. Then one day, the pain hit hard. Doctors found he had developed a stomach ulcer caused by repeated irritation from, you guessed it, maybe coffee and spicy food. So, what is the smarter approach? If you love spicy meals, enjoy them with water or milk. Milk helps coat and calm the stomach lining. Save your coffee for later, maybe 30 to 60 minutes after the meal. Give your stomach a break before hitting it with another round of acid stimulation. Spice is nice, and coffee is a joy. Just don't ask your stomach to handle both at the same time. Tip number 4, never drink coffee with alcohol. Now this one might surprise you. Most people do not think of coffee and alcohol as something they drink at the same time. But let's take a closer look. Maybe you enjoy an Irish coffee during the holidays. Maybe you like a little espresso after dinner with a glass of wine. Or maybe, like many people in the restaurant or bar business, you finish your shift with a mix of something strong and something hot. Here is why that can be a real problem. Coffee is a stimulant. It makes you feel awake, alert, and sharp. Alcohol is a depressant. It slows things down. Your reactions, your balance, your judgment. When you mix the two, you create what doctors call a false sense of sobriety. You feel more awake than you actually are, but the alcohol is still affecting your body. That can lead to overdrinking without realizing it, and in the long run, can increase your risk of alcohol dependence. Even more concerning, both coffee and alcohol put stress on your liver. Coffee speeds up your metabolism, while alcohol slows down the breakdown of toxins. When consumed together, they force your liver to work overtime, sometimes with damaging long-term effects. Let me tell you about Michael. He was a bartender in Miami who had a habit of ending each shift with a strong espresso and a glass of whiskey. He thought it helped him unwind and stay sharp on the drive home. Over time, his drinking increased, but he never felt drunk. Years later, he was diagnosed with early liver disease. His doctors told him the combination of caffeine and alcohol had masked the warning signs until it was too late. So here's the advice. If you are enjoying a drink, skip the coffee until later. Let your body process the alcohol first. And if you need a pick-me-up after a social evening, wait a few hours and go for a gentle cup, maybe even decaf. You can still enjoy both coffee and an occasional drink, just not at the same time. Your liver, your heart, and your good judgment will thank you for it. Tip number 5, never drink coffee with baked goods. Now this one might hit close to home. A warm cup of coffee and a fresh pastry. That is breakfast heaven for a lot of folks. A donut, a muffin, maybe a croissant. Just enough sweetness to make your morning feel complete. But here's the truth. This classic combo could be secretly setting you up for a day of sugar crashes, hunger, and even long-term health issues. Let's break it down. Most baked moite goods, especially the ones you find at coffee shops or in the grocery store, are packed with refined flour and added sugars. On their own, they cause a spike in your blood sugar. Add caffeine into the mix, and that spike gets even higher, even faster. Why? Because coffee stimulates the release of adrenaline, which makes your body absorb sugar more quickly. You feel a burst of energy, and then you crash. What happens next? You feel tired, foggy, and hungrier than before. And when this becomes your daily habit, it puts stress on your pancreas, messes with your insulin levels, and over time can lead to weight gain or even prediabetes. Let me tell you about Thomas. He was a lawyer in Atlanta who started each day with a latte and 2 donuts. He figured he was active enough to burn it off, but he began to feel drained by late morning, had trouble focusing, and noticed he was putting on weight. A trip to the doctor showed his blood sugar was unstable and his cholesterol had jumped, all from what he thought was a harmless breakfast. So what is a better way to start the day? Try swapping baked goods for whole grain toast, oatmeal, or a small serving of fruit with some protein like eggs or nuts. If you still want something sweet, add a sprinkle of cinnamon to your coffee. It adds flavor, and it actually helps regulate blood sugar. You do not have to give up your coffee. You just need to give it a smarter partner. Tip number 6, never drink coffee with dried fruits. Now this one really surprises people. Dried fruits have a great reputation. They are natural, packed with fiber, and seem like a smart, wholesome snack. Add a cup of coffee, and you feel like you are making a healthy choice, right? But here's the part most folks do not know. This innocent combo can throw your blood sugar completely out of balance, especially as we get older. Let us talk about dried fruits. Things like raisins, dates, apricots. They might come from nature, but once dried, they are concentrated with sugar. A small handful can contain the same sugar as a candy bar. Now combine that with coffee, which stimulates your metabolism and speeds up how quickly sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream. And suddenly, your body is in panic mode. Your pancreas has to work overtime to release insulin and stabilize your blood sugar. And if this happens regularly, it can wear your system down, leading to insulin resistance or even type 2 diabetes over time. You might notice symptoms like sudden fatigue, dizziness, or intense cravings, but not realize it is coming from what you thought was a healthy snack. Let me tell you about David. He was a busy accountant in Chicago who gave up candy and switched to dried fruits, thinking it was a smarter option. He would eat some with coffee at his desk every day. Eventually, he started feeling weak after lunch and had occasional headaches and thirst. One day, he fainted at work. Doctors found he was in a pre-diabetic state, caused by the constant sugar surge from mixing dried fruits with coffee. So what should you do instead? If you enjoy dried fruits, eat them as a standalone snack, not with coffee. And when you want something to pair with your cup, go for a handful of nuts or a boiled egg. Something with protein and healthy fats, which helps keep your blood sugar steady. Dried fruit may be sweet, but your health should not have to pay the price. Tip number 7, never drink coffee with fatty foods. Now let us talk about one of the most popular and comforting breakfast pairings of all time, coffee and bacon, or maybe it is sausage, or a buttery croissant. Either way, it is warm, it is filling, and it feels like a classic way to start the morning. But here is something your heart and your stomach might want you to know. This combo is harder on your body than it seems. Fatty foods, especially those high in saturated fats like fried bacon, greasy sausage, or buttery pastries, slow down digestion. They make your stomach work longer and harder to break things down. Now throw coffee into the mix, which increases stomach acid and speeds things up. And suddenly, your digestive system is sending mixed signals. One part is trying to relax, the other is in high gear, and that is not all. Saturated fats raise your cholesterol levels, and when you combine them with caffeine, it can lead to higher blood pressure, poor circulation, and even increase your risk of heart disease. Especially if this is something you do regularly, not just on the occasional Sunday. Let me introduce you to James. He owns a car repair shop in Dallas and loved his daily breakfast at the local diner. Eggs, bacon, and strong black coffee. It gave him energy, or so he thought. But over time, he started feeling short of breath just walking across the shop. One day, after a sharp pain in his chest, he went to the hospital. His cholesterol was through the roof, and his doctor told him the combination of fatty breakfasts and caffeine had been putting serious strain on his heart. So, what is the better choice? Try switching to lean proteins like turkey, eggs cooked without extra oil, or plant-based options like avocado on whole grain toast. Pair that with coffee, and your body will feel energized, not overloaded. Comfort food should make you feel comforted, not send your blood pressure into orbit. Tip number 8, never drink coffee with chocolate. Now I know, this one hurts a little. Coffee and chocolate just seem made for each other, do they not? A rich piece of dark chocolate with your afternoon espresso. A mocha latte on a chilly morning. It is delicious, comforting, and even a little luxurious. But this pairing, while tasty, can actually give your heart more than it bargained for. Here is what is really happening inside your body. Both coffee and chocolate contain caffeine, and chocolate, especially the dark kind, also has something called theobromine. That is a natural stimulant that works a lot like caffeine, but with a slightly different kick. When you combine both of them, your central nervous system can get overstimulated. Your heart starts racing, your blood pressure rises, and you might start feeling anxious, dizzy, or just plain unsettled. And for people over 50, especially anyone dealing with high blood pressure or heart rhythm concerns, this combo can turn from tasty to risky faster than you think. Let me tell you about David, and a lawyer from New York with a high-stress job and a sweet tooth. He had a morning habit of double espresso and a few pieces of dark chocolate. At first, it gave him focus and energy, but over time, he began having palpitations, anxiety attacks, and even shortness of breath. One day in court, he nearly fainted. Doctors later told him his body had been in caffeine overdrive for months. So what can you do instead? If you love the taste of chocolate, try white chocolate now and then. It has less caffeine and no theobromine. Or better yet, enjoy your chocolate as an afternoon treat. Separate from your coffee. Give your heart a break by spreading out the stimulation. Coffee and chocolate are both wonderful, just maybe not at the same time. Tip number 9, never drink coffee with fast food. All right. Let's talk about something many of us have done, maybe more than we care to admit. You are in a rush, heading to work or an appointment, So you grab a quick breakfast sandwich, maybe some hash browns, and of course, a big cup of coffee from the drive-thru. It is fast, it is convenient, and it gives you that temporary feeling of, okay, I can handle today. But what your body goes through afterward tells a different story. Fast food is usually high in saturated fats, salt, and refined carbs. These foods are heavy. They slow down your digestion and put stress on your system. Now add coffee, which speeds up your metabolism and increases stomach acid. The result? A digestive tug of war. Your body gets confused. One part is trying to slow down and process that greasy sandwich, while the other part is being jolted awake by caffeine. And let us not forget what it does to your blood sugar. The fat and carbs from the food, combined with the caffeine, can cause sharp spikes and crashes in your energy levels. That leads to cravings, fatigue, and over time, insulin resistance, one of the stepping stones to type 2 diabetes. Tony, a 30-something IT worker in San Francisco, found this out the hard way. Every morning, he had a bacon breakfast sandwich and a large latte. For a while, it felt like fuel. But soon, he started feeling sluggish by mid-morning, then constantly tired, even on weekends. His doctor eventually diagnosed him with prediabetes, caused largely by his daily fast food and coffee routine. So what is the better choice? If you need something quick, try a hard-boiled egg, a banana, or a slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter. Pair it with your coffee, and you will feel full and focused without dragging your system through a metabolic mess. Remember, fast food might be convenient, but good health is what keeps you going in the long run. Tip number 10, never drink coffee with milk. Yes, even that morning latte. Now I know this one might sting a little. For many folks, that morning cup of coffee is not complete without a splash, or maybe a whole wave of milk. Whether it is a creamy latte, a classic cafe au lait, or just a little half and half in your mug, this combination is a long-time favorite. It is warm, cozy, and for some people, it feels like self-care in a cup. But here is what most people do not realize. As we age, our ability to digest dairy, especially milk, naturally decreases. It is not your fault, and it is not unusual. It is just one of the charming perks of getting older. Milk contains a sugar called lactose, and your body needs an enzyme called lactase to break it down. The thing is, most adults gradually produce less lactase over time. That means when you pour milk into your coffee, your digestive system might struggle to process it. You may not notice it right away, maybe just a little bloating, some mild cramps, or gas. But over time, it can lead to inflammation in your gut and even cause skin flare-ups like rashes or breakouts. Let me tell you about Michael, a sales manager in Los Angeles. He loved his daily morning lattes. He thought they helped him stay sharp and alert through meetings. But eventually, he started feeling heavy and bloated after breakfast. He noticed his skin breaking out, which he chalked up to stress. It was not until a visit to a gastroenterologist that he learned he was lactose intolerant. The doctor told him the regular combo of milk and coffee was irritating his gut and throwing his system out of balance. Once he switched to plant-based milk, like oat or almond, everything started to improve. His digestion settled down, the skin issues cleared up, and he felt more energized throughout the day. So what can you do? Try experimenting with milk alternatives. There are plenty of great options now that are easier on digestion and still give you that smooth, creamy taste. Oat milk is a fan favorite. It steams well and has a nice, rich texture. Almond milk, coconut milk, or soy milk are also great choices. You do not have to give up your creamy coffee. You just might need to rethink what is going in the cup. Because feeling good after your morning ritual, that is what matters most. And now that we have covered all 10 of these surprising pairings, stay with me because in the closing, I want to share a few quick tips to help you keep your coffee habit healthy and joyful for years to come. Let's make coffee work for you, not against you. So here we are. We have just walked through 10 surprising food and drink combinations that can turn your daily cup of coffee from something comforting into something that quietly chips away at your health. Now, before you toss out your coffee beans or swear off breakfast forever, let me say this clearly. You do not need to give up your coffee. You just need to be a little more mindful about what you pair with it. Our bodies change over time. What worked for us at 30 may not work the same at 60 or 70. And that is not something to be frustrated about. It is something to honor. It means we are still here, still learning, still adapting. And to me, that is something to be proud of. Coffee, when enjoyed wisely, can still be a beautiful part of your life. It can give you focus, warmth, comfort, and even health benefits. Yes, there are many studies that say so, but like anything else, it is all about the company it keeps. Just like people, your coffee does best when it is surrounded by the right kind of partners. So, what can you take away from all of this? Well, maybe tomorrow morning you swap that sweet muffin for a slice of whole grain toast. Maybe instead of adding milk, you try oat milk. Maybe you drink your coffee on its own, a little quiet time before breakfast, and give your body a moment to ease into the day. Small changes, simple swaps, but they can make a real difference. And the best part, you are not doing this to give something up. You are doing this to gain something. More energy, better digestion, a calmer heart, a clearer mind. You are choosing to support the body that has carried you through so much already. The same body that still has many good mornings, meaningful conversations, and joyful cups of coffee ahead. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, I would love for you to share it with someone you care about. Maybe it will help them too. And if you have your own coffee tips or morning rituals that work well for you, drop them in the comments. I read them all. Until next time, take care of yourself, one thoughtful sip at a time.